Hello everybody, this is Kumar Wins and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. In this video session, we will discuss about export documentation and procedure. As the subject is very lengthy, I thought of dividing the session in two different parts. In the first part, we will focus mainly on documentation, and in the second part, we will discuss the procedure of export order processing. So, our discussion will progress in following sequence. We will learn about the commercial documents, then we will have a look at legal regulatory documents, then types of shipping bill, then we will have some additional information that you will find very useful for this export documentation kind of thing, and then we will have a look at legal documents in importing countries, and finally the export order processing, which will be continued in second part of the video. So here there are mainly 6 different points that we are going to cover. Now coming to commercial documents, these documents are also known as shipping documents, and these documents enable the exporter and importer to discharge their obligation under an export contract. Let's see what are the different types of commercial documents. If we look at the list of commercial documents required for a consignment under a CIF contract, that is cost, insurance and freight contract, these are commercial invoice. Then we have bill of lading. Then there is AWB, that is called as airway bill. Then we have PPR, post parcel receipt, insurance policy certificate and bill of exchange. We also require some additional commercial documents such as packing list, certificate of inspection, certificates of quality, etc. And before jumping to the next slide, I just want to give a brief introduction of CIFs. CIF is a type of Incoterm. There are different types of Incoterm which we will discuss sometimes later, but CIF basically means cost, insurance and freight. Let's discuss about the commercial invoices. These are the first basic and the only complete document among all commercial documents for the shipment. No import export can be done without commercial invoices, even if it has no commercial value. And the different objectives of commercial invoices are: it fulfills the obligation under the export contract, it is required for obtaining export inspection certificate, getting excise clearance, getting customs clearance, and securing incentives. Commercial invoices are prepared at both the pre-shipment and post-shipment stages. Here few important things to note. Under LC, that is letter of credit, unless otherwise specified, the commercial invoices must be made out in the name of the applicant of the credit. In my next videos, not the immediate next one, but sometime later, we will have a detailed discussion on letter of credit. What is LC? What are different types of LC? What is the importance of LC? Why do we need this document basically? So we will discuss all these things about LC in my next video. And the second important point is, just like in the case of quantity to be recorded on the invoice, the amount should neither be less nor more than the stipulated amount in the contract or the LC, that is letter of credit. Here is an exception. Except if the contract or LC permits part shipment, an individual invoice can be less than the total amount, and it will be mentioned clearly on LC whether part shipment is permitted or not. Here few things to mention. The invoice must provide few informations like what is the final destination of the merchandise, and in case the merchandise is sold or agreed to be sold, the time, place and names of the buyer and seller. And if it has to be exported on consignment basis, that if it is consigned, the time and origin of shipment, the names of shipper and the receiver. It has to be mentioned clearly on the commercial invoice. Then a detailed description of the merchandise, including the name and quality of each item, marks used in domestic trade on the country of origin, and marks and numbers on the export packing, the quantity in weights and measures, then the kind of currency, the country of origin. This information should be clearly mentioned on the commercial invoice. Now coming to BL, that is bill of lading. Bill of lading is issued by the shipping company or its agents, and it confirms that goods are either being shipped or have been shipped. So basically it is essentially a transport document, and BL serves the following functions. It's a proof of contract of affreightment, that is transport between the shipping company and the shipper, and it also works as a receipt given by the shipping company for cargo received by it, and most importantly it is the document of title. This is the most significant function of BL. Here few things to be noted down. BL must contain leading identification marks, number of packages, quantity, weight or any other unit of account and condition of the goods. Here I have highlighted few words in red font which are very important. BL is the only evidence to file a claim against the shipping company in the event of non-delivery, defective delivery or short delivery of the cargo at the destination. I have given two different examples. In fact, both these copies are taken from website. I have downloaded these copies from the website, and it's a BL given by issued by FedEx. You can just have a look at it to have a real feeling how does BL look like, what are the different information that has to be captured on this document. So you can just have a look at it, and you can in fact download many more copies from the website. So many BL copies are available on the Google, or you can use any other search engine as per your convenience. Now what are different types of BL? We have received for shipment BL, then onboard shipped BL, then we have clean BL, closed or dirty BL. It's also known as foul BL. You can I have not mentioned it, but you can just make a note of that: closed or dirty BL or foul BL. Then there is combined BL, then through BL, transshipment BL and charter party BL. BL is not a negotiable instrument, though it is transferable by endorsement. This transferability enables the banks to pay money to the exporter against surrender of shipping documents, including BL, even before the goods reach the destination. Similarly, it enables the goods to be resold by the importer before goods reach the destination. So just based on this document, the importer is able to resold the goods before it reaches the destination, and the exporter is also entitled to get money, to get value for this shipment before it reaches the destination. We will discuss all the different types of BL in some other session. Here I have mentioned one more word, that is taking exception. So what is taking exception? In fact, it's not the type of BL, it's just a process. And taking exception is the process of noting damage or discrepancies on BL. A little description of this process I would like to have here. So before a BL is issued, a representative of the carrier will inspect the shipment for damage to make certain that the contents of the shipment are represented correctly. If no apparent damage can be noted and the contents of the shipment match the BL, a clean BL will be issued. And if any damage can be seen or if the contents are not what were represented, a notation will be made and the document is called closed or dirty or foul BL. If no exceptions are noted on the BL, it is assumed to be a clean BL. Now, airway bill. Airway bill is basically a transport document of air carriage and prima facie evidences of the conclusion of the contract of affreightment, of receipt of goods, and of conditions of the carriage. By itself, AWB is not a document of title nor is the document transferable. But AWB or airway bill can be made into a transferable document and by which it can be transferred to a third party by endorsement like the BL. The importer can protect him against the seller's rerouting of the goods by obtaining the consignor's copy of the AWB. It's marked as original 3 for shipper. I have not mentioned, I am just giving you an additional information which you can note down. And I repeat it, the importer can protect him against the seller's rerouting of the goods by obtaining the consignor's copy of the AWB which is marked as original 3 for shipper. And this document is sent to him through the banking channel by the exporter along with other shipment documents. Now, what is post parcel receipt? Post parcel receipt basically evidences the receipt of goods exported through postal channels to the buyer, but it does not evidence the title to goods. Now, one more document we have is the insurance certificate. So, cargo insurance policy, or it's also known as marine insurance policy. It protects the cargo owners in the event of loss or damage to cargo in transit. Now we have bill of exchange. Bill of exchange or draft is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only or to the order of a person or to the bearer of the instrument. It bridges the time gap between it. In fact, it reduces the time gap between shipment of goods and receipt of the sale amount. And bill of exchange is prepared by the exporter and given to the bank along with other shipping documents for securing the sale amount. Basically, bill of exchange are of two types. One is sight bill, that is, it has to be honored on demand and there is no credit facility. And one more bill is usance bill, that is, here you have some facility for payment at an agreed time period. So you have some time, you are buying some time to make the payment if you are an importer. So you have some kind of credit facility. It's a very important document, and in fact we need to discuss about this document in detail. So I will try to cover this topic sometime later. Then we have some legal regulatory documents. First is IEC, that is Importer Exporter Code Number. It is issued by the DGFT. And IEC is valid for the firm's lifetime. There is no expiry period for this document. but there are certain circumstances, there are certain conditions which can be used to cancel the IEC of an organization. So we need to be very careful about following those regulations. Then one more document is RCMC, that is called as registration cum membership certificate, and RCMC is issued by Export Promotion Council, Commodity Board, Development Authority, etc. Unlike IEC, RCMC is valid for a specified time period and strictly not a legal requirement for exporting from India, but it is needed for claiming some of the important export incentives. If you are claiming for some export incentives, you need to be member of some export promotion council or commodity board or development authority, and once you are the member of this council or board, you will be given a registration cum membership certificate. Here you can have a look at the sample copy of IEC and RCMC. On the left side you will find the copy of IEC, and on the right side you will find a copy of the RCMC, that is registration cum membership certificate. This RCMC has been given by the Plastics Export Promotion Council. We will learn about these export promoting bodies later. There are more than 35 export promotion councils in India, and they take care of different products like plastics, apparel, chemicals, cosmetics, carpet, cashew, leather, electronic items. There are so many items, and there are different export promotion councils which help in promoting export of these commodities. I got these two copies from the website only, but still thought of hiding the identity. You can still search on internet and you will find many such documents are already available on the site. Let's continue with the legal regulatory documents. Foreign exchange regulations require that all exports other than exports to Nepal and Bhutan shall be declared on the following forms. There are four different types of forms we are going to discuss. First is the GR form, and GR form is to be filled in duplicate, and it has to be used for all exports in physical form other than by post. So what is the document which we can use in case we are exporting by post? So that is called as PP form, and it has to be filled in duplicate, and PP form is used for all exports to all countries made by post parcel except when made on value payable or cash on delivery basis, that is COD or VP, value payable or cash on delivery. So here third one is VP or COD form, and these forms have to be filled in one copy, and VP or COD form, that is value payable or cash on delivery forms, are used for exports to all countries by post parcel under arrangements to realize proceeds through postal channels on value payable or cash on delivery basis. And the last one is soft text form. Soft text form has to be filled in triplicate, it has to be prepared in triplicate, and it is used for export of computer software in non-physical form. And there are some legal regulatory documents for goods which come under the export trade control policy of the government of India. Either an export license or an export permit will be granted by the concerned authorities. License or permission is generally given on the customs document known as shipping bill, and for obtaining export license from the licensing authorities, the application is either the A10 form or B10 form. So these are two different types of form which can be used or which are needed to be used for obtaining export license from the licensing authorities. It could be either A10 or B10 form. This form is submitted along with the shipping bill and other documents, if any. And in many cases, a specific permission may have to be obtained from particular government ministries departments, in which case exporter has to apply on his letterhead. And for products under the Export Act 1962, that is Export Quality Control and Inspection Act 1962 and various other regulations, it is obligatory for an exporter to obtain inspection certificate from the notified agencies. And for obtaining this certificate, that is inspection certificate, the exporter has to apply in a document that is called as intimation for inspection. And this document, that is intimation for inspection, has to be submitted along with other supporting documents like commercial invoice, technical specifications, etc. to an export inspection agency. And thereafter a certificate of inspection will be issued, which along with other documents will be submitted to the customs authorities before permission to ship goods is given. Then how about the permission from customs? Under the Indian Customs Act, goods cannot be loaded on board the carriers unless permission from the customs authorities has been obtained. And this permission is accorded on a document prescribed by the customs authorities. And for shipment by sea or by air, this document is known as shipping bill. For shipment by land or by rail, it is called as application for export. And for post parcel consignment, it is known as custom declaration form. There are different types of shipping bill. I have mentioned here 4 different types of shipping bill. First is free shipping bill. Second one is dutiable shipping bill. Third is drawback shipping bill. And the fourth one is shipping bill for shipping ex bond. So what is free shipping bill? Free shipping bill is usually printed on white paper, and in this case there is no export duty or cess, there is no duty drawback. It's free shipping bill. Now coming to dutiable shipping bill, here goods are subject to export duty or cess, and dutiable shipping bill is printed on yellow paper, just like shipping bill for shipping ex bond. And the third one is drawback shipping bill. Drawback shipping bill is usually printed on green paper, and the goods are entitled to duty drawback. And the last one, shipping bill for shipping ex bond. This shipping bill is printed on yellow paper, and imported goods for re-export kept in the customs bonded warehouses. For such goods, this shipping bill for shipping ex bond are used. Here I thought of giving some additional information which you will find very useful. Application for export is used for seeking customs permission of export goods to the neighboring countries like Bangladesh by road, river or rail. This is of 3 types, namely for export of free, dutiable and drawback cargoes. Then customs declaration for goods sent by post parcel is a standard form for all types of cargo. For claiming duty drawback, the exporter has also to file another document known as Form D. It's very important because you should not forget while claiming duty drawback that you need to file a document known as Form D. Then port authorities in India have specified documents for bringing the cargo into the shed for shipment as well as for payment of port charges. And the same document is known by different names at 3 different ports. Let me mention. It's called as Port Trust Copy of Shipping Bill in Bombay, In Calcutta, the same document is known as Doc Challan, and in Chennai and Cochin, this document is known as Export Application. Then there are some legal documents in importing countries. First one is consular invoice. There are few countries which will not accept an invoice prepared by the shipper and require that their consulate abroad issue an invoice for the customs purposes. So this consular invoice is signed and stamped by the local consulate of the country to which goods are exported. Second one is customs invoices. So customs invoices are made out on a specified form prescribed by the customs authority of the importing country. In fact, most but not all nations' customs services accept a commercial invoice as evidence of the nature and value of the cargo for customs purposes. Some countries' customs services ask that invoice should be prepared on their standardized form, and this form is known as customs invoice. And the details given in this document enable the customs authorities of the importing country to levy and charge import duty. Then we have legalized or vised invoices. These invoices constitute a sworn affidavit by the exporter about the genuineness and correctness of the sale. This could be sworn before the appropriate consulate or the chamber of commerce, as the case may be, which will put their stamp on them. So this become legalized invoices, or we call as vised invoices. Then fourth one is certified invoice. These are the self-certified invoices by the exporter about the origin of the goods. Then the fifth document is certificate of origin. So certificate of origin is issued by independent bodies like the Chamber of Commerce on a prescribed form. Even there are few export promotion councils like FIO in India, they can issue certificate of origin. But they cannot issue the certificate of origin if it is for a generalized preferential system. That is GSP certificate of origin. So this export promotion council cannot issue GSP certificate of origin. So GSP certificate of origin are used for the goods which get the benefit of preferential import duty treatment in countries which implement the GSP, that is generalized system of preferences. And this kind of goods should be accompanied by the GSP certificate of origin, and this certificate is given on the forms prescribed by the importing countries. Then the seventh one is health or veterinary or sanitary certificates. These certificates are needed in a number of countries, and these certify that the goods are fit for human consumption. Now we will have a look at the sequence of export order processing, and this sequence goes like this. First we need to study the nature and the format of export order. Then it is confirmed to be okay after examining properly. Once the export order is confirmed, manufacturing or procurement of goods are taken up. Then we need to obtain clearance from Central Excise, which is very important. So Central Excise clearance is done. Now there will be pre-shipment inspection. Then clearing and forwarding agent is appointed, who takes care of most of the jobs in export order processing. So here appointment of CFA is over. Then goods are transported to the port of shipment. Then after port formalities and customs clearance, the CFA dispatches the documents to the exporter. These documents are presented to the bank and forms the basis of claiming export incentives. So These documents are presented to the bank, which forms the basis for claiming export incentives. So in the second part of this video, we will continue and we will discuss all these steps in details, and sometime later you will find a video on different types of export incentives given by the government of India to promote the export, which helps in earning foreign exchange. And in fact, I'm trying to cover most of the topics which are important for supply chain management, export import process, and sales and operations planning. You will find different very valuable information in the sessions to come. And for this session, I am stopping here. We will meet very soon with detailed discussion on export order processing. And you can subscribe to my channel for any update. Send your comments and suggestions, which will help us in improving further. For one-to-one query or any supply chain solution in your organization, you can contact me at the email ID supplychainoperations@gmail.com. Thank you.